उपविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्.
All the work, finally when the work is done, even while it is done also, it ends in the knowledge. Because whether you have done or not, it is a memory in you. Even when you are doing also, it is your mind who is knowing. Suppose the mind becomes defective, he will do everything and say that no, I have not done anything. He will take the medicine and ask for the medicine again. In old age it happens, otherwise also it may happen. That is, our operations are depending on something to be known, then knowledge about it, and as a knower, taking the decision on the basis of the knowledge. Suppose immediately you say that no, it is not nutritious, it is visham, it is poison. Then you will not take it, immediately you will not take it. Everything is guided by knowledge, and the knower has to take the decision about it. These are the mental impulsion for work. And he says that karma sangraha, that is the constituent of action. Sangraha means whatever is constituting the action. That is also three kinds. Both are three kinds. What is that? Karanam, karma, katteti. Karanam means the instruments of functioning. Karma means the action, whatever is being done. And karta. Karta means the doer who is thinking that I am going to do. Now here you see that all are actually within the fold of ajnana. This knowledge, jnanam, the karta is thinking that I have to do. I have known it and this is it, I am going to do. He is not thinking that it is taking place by nature or everything like that. And karanam karma karteti, that functions are done by the karana, the instruments are doing the function. So is any correction necessary for the instruments? Normally not. They don't have any ego or anything at all. Even the karma, the action, as you go forward, we will find that the action, although they are defining the action can be sattvika, rajasika, tamasika, actually the way they have defined is how the action is being done. Say it is studying, it is an action. Now with what mindset one is studying, that will determine whether it is sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. So actually it is referring to the karta only, the mindset. As such, the karma by action, there is nothing is happening. So an action, you cannot blame it or aggrandize it, nothing is wrong there. It is just an action, phenomena of nature. Like that, the instruments of action, they are also nature. Our buddhi has to be applied, our mind has to think, our indriyas have to perceive, the karmendriyas have to act. These are all nature's work. There is no ego involved, nothing is there. It's all phenomenological. Phenomenological means it's just happening in nature by the natural forces. There is no identity associated with that. But they will define here next the knowledge and karma and karta. Karma, I said that although they are discriminating the karma as sattvika, rajasika, tamasika, it is actually not. The karma is karma. In what mindset, with what mindset we are doing, that will determine the sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. And the knowledge and the karta, these two will have the sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. Why knowledge will have it? Because the knowledge will make all the difference. Suppose you are putting the bricks in a mason is working there. Somebody asks that, what are you doing? Don't you see I am putting bricks? Okay. The next mason he asks that, what are you doing? I am putting bricks because I am making a school. I am working for the contractor. He has given me the job. I am doing it. Third person, oh, you don't know. In this village there was no school at all. Our children and all never studied at all. Now somebody has thought about it and they are putting up a school. I am going to participate in that making of the school where our children will all the village children will become educated and the society will improve. See the vision 3. It is the knowledge. The knowledge is putting the bricks. But because of the person, the knowledge is altogether different. One has a comprehensive vision, one has a part vision, another is only involved in the, I am laying the bricks, nothing more he knows. Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika, according to that. So that is what they are now going to do. After determining that these are the motivation, the mental impulsion for work, and these are the constituents of an work, now they will go to define Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. Why? I have already explained over the last few days. We have always to see the Sattvika because the Sattvika guna will transport us to the transcendental level. That it will take us to the reality. So knowing which is the Rajasika, which is the Tamasika, which is the Sattvika, we have to always opt for the Sattvika. That will take us to the Nirlepa Bhumi. Jnanam karma cha karta cha
Jnanam karma cha karta cha
Tridhaiva guna bhedataha
Tridhaiva guna bhedataha
Prochyate guna sankhyaane
Prochyate guna sankhyaane
Yathavat shrinutanyapi
Yathavat shrinutanyapi
Guna Sankhyaane. This is again Sankhya Shastra, that is Vedanta only, but where they are discussed these 3 gunas. That is called the Guna Sankhya. In Guna Sankhya, Jnanam, Karma and Karta. These 3 are defined with respect to the 3 gunas. That is 3 kinds of knowledge, 3 kinds of action, 3 kinds of doer. These are the definitions. Prochyate, it has been defined, Guna Sankhyane, Yathavat Shrinutanyapi. As it has been discussed in the Sankhya, listen from me that. He is impersonal about it. He is not saying the Nishchayam Shrinume Tatra. He is quoting from the Sankhya Shastra. So first he is taking up Jnana. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
Bhavam avyayamikshate
Bhavam avyayamikshate
Abhibhaktam vibhakteshu
Avibhaktam vibhakteshu
Tajnanam vidhi satvikam
Tajnanam vidhi satvikam
Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam.
Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam.
You should try to remember this verse because while acting, performing, if you remember this, it will correct your action. Because these are, you don't think that these are only necessary when we are interested in self-realization. Entire Bhagavad Gita, everything spoken of, will be helping in our any performance throughout. It is not that we have to realize the self. Walking on this path will make our life happy, fulfilled, and also always expanding. There is something called, normally our motion is cyclic. That is, every day we get up, throughout the day what we do, we go to sleep and again get up. There is no progression. It's a cyclic motion of life. What Bhagavad Gita does is change this cyclic motion into a progressive motion. That although the cycle will be there, but the cycle will go on the path. That is what is happening. It is not a steady chakra moving. It is moving on the path. Cycle, then external cycle will be there because you have to sleep, you have to take food, you have to go to the market, you have to wash, everything will go on. But through everything there will be a progression. So all these things will introduce an impersonality in our being, a very universality, a very large universality in our being. The more we progress, this will grow and grow, expansion in our being. So that even in loving somebody, doing something for somebody, bringing up family, teaching somebody, everywhere the life will become more lively. Life will become more lively, progressive. So he says that tad jnanam vidhi satvikam. That knowledge is called sattvika knowledge. Which knowledge is sattvika knowledge? Sarva bhuteshu yena ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. See, ikshate I have been telling you again and again. Ikshana. Ikshana is the vision of buddhi. It means seeing, but it is not seeing with the eyes. It is seeing with the buddhi, intelligence and mind. He says, Sarva bhuteshu, in everything. What is that everything? Everything is fragmented, having different color, different characteristics, all are different. So normally that difference will constantly prick our mind. That is why there will be preference and prejudice. This person I like, that person I don't like. Oh, you come. The other person, we will not say anything, better that he doesn't come. All these things will happen because we are always stuck by the fragmented vision of the world. He says, Sarva bhuteshu, in that all differences, in that all Vaichitra, the knowledge which allows us to see, which makes us see what? Ekam avyayam bhavam ikshate. Ekam, that one, that unity in diversity. He sees that knowledge makes us perceive the unity in diversity. Ekam avyayam. Avyayam means unchanging. That is, what is unchanging behind that? That consciousness or Atma or whatever you see. That means although everything is changing like the waves of the sea, but our dimension will be the sea dimension in which all the waves will be held. Suppose I am having dukkha, suffering, and I get so attached to the suffering that I am not able to bear it. Now if we really think that what is this suffering? It is a wave in my mind or consciousness. Similarly, happiness is a wave in my consciousness. Can I not just see them? Experience them. The suffering also we can experience, the happiness also I can experience. That is the avyayam bhavam, that we see that everything is a formation in the same thing. So avyayam means unchanging and ekam means one. Abhibhaktam vibhakteshu, that things are fragmented, but behind that, this knowledge will tell you that everything is unfragmented. It is the whole. Even when we become selfish or so, should we not think that the moment we are coming out of our home, we are stepping on the national property, we are stepping onto the road. As I am living, for that, when I am using the clothes, the food, are we thinking about the cultivators who have produced the food, who have produced the clothings? Where are they? How are they? That feeling is not there. But this seeing the abhibhaktam vibhakteshu will give you an overall universal love, which will make you think of everything. In giving also, gifting also, we become so harsh and rajasic sometimes, even in our dana satra also. If we think about them, that are we not very great, should we not be grateful that these people are there to take? If the whole country improves a lot, then we will not have the occasion to give. Now, given the bad condition of the country, we have an occasion where we can share things also. Similarly, suppose a businessman, he does some business. Should he not think that it is what I am doing is actually a sharing with the society? Any business is a sharing with the society. That what I am producing, suppose I am throwing some effluent just to increase my profit, I am throwing the poison into the air. That air, will it not be taken by my children and my grandchildren also? They will also breathe in the same air. So by increasing profit, I am accumulating more money to be given off to my children who have already developed cancer because breathing the polluted air. Is there any point? These are all comprehensive way of thinking. So Sattva Guna is always, it will introduce comprehensiveness in us. So that this partition behavior, the partial behavior, preferential behavior will be smoothened out. So it is not a question of finally knowing the self. It may, but even if it is not there, it will improve our life quality, it will improve our society. Everywhere there will be benefit out of this expansion. Because it is a real picture of nature. Nature, everything is bound to each other. Everywhere, even a molecule cannot exist without being tied to the other. In a crystal also, all the molecules are tied in a certain manner. Even in the space also, all the planets, all the stars, they are bound to each other. Everywhere there is interactional harmony, there is a bondage, there is a binding. So a comprehensive view is very important in any walk of life. So he says that abhivaktam vibhakteshu, that this gives us wholesome knowledge, comprehensive knowledge, in spite of the fragmented nature of the world. So it will be a long-term welfare knowledge also, we will be able to see. In Kathopanishad, towards the end there is a shloka, Yathodakam shuddhe shuddham asiktam tadrigeva bhavati evam muner vijanata atma bhavati gautama. Yatha udakam means water. Shuddhe shuddham asiktam tadrigeva bhavati. Suppose there is a pond of pure water. You are pouring pure water in it. When you pour it, are you able to find out where my water has gone? It has gone mixed with the purity. Like that, evam vijanata munehe atma, vijanataha munehe atma evam bhavati. When a person knows the truth of his identity, his soul, who has known the Atma, his Atma becomes like that. In that Brahman or the consciousness, his identity gets completely dissolved in the same manner. In second chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, last but one verse. What is that? Apuryamana machala pratishtham samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamaha yam pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. He says that in the sea, so many rivers and nalas and drains and everything are coming. And after they meet the sea, what is happening? They have all become the sea. Even if it is Ganges water, it becomes the sea, Bay of Bengal also. If it is a drain water, filthy sewer water, that also becomes the sea. Everything becomes the sea. And by the constant coming of the water, the sea doesn't overflow. And by constant evaporation because of the sun rays, the sea doesn't get dried also. It remains stable in its own dimension. It holds, it retains the waves, sometimes huge, sometimes small, depending on the climate. It allows the vapor to go and complete the cycle, that the cloud will take the vapor, they will become cloud, they will either come down as the snow or as rain. Then from there, the river will be replenished by that water. The river will flow. In the process, so many people will be benefited. Animals will be benefited. The forests will be benefited by the flow of the river. If the water remained with the sea, nothing would have happened in the society. It is that allowing the water to go and completing the cycle that everybody gets benefited. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamahayam pravishanti sarve sa shantim apnoti na kama kami. For him what happens? All the desireful objects are so. They flow just like the rivers, they flow unto him. Whatever comes, he lives on that, he enjoys that, whatever to be done. He enjoys suffering, he enjoys happiness, he enjoys everything. Sometimes suffering is brought, he will enjoy the suffering also. Sometimes happiness is brought, he will enjoy that also. Everything in the same spirit he goes on doing. So, sa shanti mapnoti, he attains peace, na kama kami. Not the one who is running after the desireful things. If you run after the river, then the sea doesn't say that, oh Ganges, you are very pure, let me go with you. Or the drain, oh you are so filthy, let me come away from you. The sea doesn't do that. Everything it accepts and does its job. Similarly, the other one is just after that is Yathodakam durge vrishtam asiktam tadrigeva bhavati evam dharmyam prithak vidvan tadrik. That is when the rain falls on the peaks, mountain peaks. It flows in different directions, different way. And it gets dried also here and there. Like that, one who is completely bogged down to the differential vision, they don't see the unity at all. Their efforts, their everything, it flows a little and then gets lost in the dried in the process. It doesn't become what he says is, doesn't become a river which will meet the sea. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharmyam prithak pashyan tadrigeva vibhavati. Something like that. It's towards the end in Kathopanishad. Not end, by chapter. So, sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकं
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्.
One who sees everywhere the differences, that is, even the Atma also they see, one Atma in this body, another Atma in that body. So they see the differences. When we see that the identity is segregated like that, naturally some are me and mine, some are others, some is my enemy, some is my friend. All the differential notions will come. That is the Rajasika tendency. Such knowledge is Rajasika knowledge. I will again explain tomorrow. Yattu kritsnavade kasmin
यत्तु कृत्स्नवदे कस्मिन्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च
अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
What kind of jnana is tamasika? That he is saying. That various words he has used. Kritsnavad ekasmin karye saktam ahaitukam. They will, of the Rajasika is seeing the variety and running after this and that and all. And Tamasika, because of their inertia, one thing they will hold on to. Of all the things, one thing they will hold on to. And is there any rationality in holding on? No. And that might be absolutely a trifle, something not very great or important or anything. Whatever gets attached to their brain, they will hold on to that. Ahaitukam, without any reason, without any rationality. Atattvarthavat, it has no real truth in it. Alpam cha, it is trifle. So of all the things, they will hold on to one and go on doing that. That story, do you remember that cat tying story? That in one ashram, this is only a story, but I mean, may not be a story, it might be a fact, but there are many facts happening. The ashrams are a treasure house of different things. So there won't be any dearth of illustrations, but generally we are not able to remember. That one sadhu's hermitage, he was taking satsang. When he used to take satsang, the cat used to say mew, 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 mew. So always he used to create problem. So he said that you tie the cat. So they would come and tie the cat near wherever the satsang is taking place. Then it will be sleeping there. Our cats in ashram, they were not tied also. They will come to the satsang and sleep there. And generally on Swamiji's lap. Those who are a little respectable cat, they will jump onto Swamiji's lap and sleep there. So we used to spread an asana for them, because the dhoti will become dirty. So the cat could sit there. So generally we say in the ashram, suppose in the satsang when somebody starts sleeping, we say the time has come to become brahmacharin. So they used to tie the cat. Now what happened is that days passed, that sadhu departed, sadhu left his body. The next generation of the disciples, they were running the ashram. The cat also had died. But they were always tying a cat. What is the reason? They said that our Gurudev said that whenever there is a satsang, a cat should be tied there. So when the cat died, they brought another cat to tie there. That died, then another cat to tie. Generation after generation, one cat is tied there. And that was like a extreme secret knowledge. So spirituality के साथ कुछ secrecy भी तो रहना है ना? Mysticism, that the cat is tied in the satsang. So this is what the tamasika buddhi. He tied the cat because it was causing problem. And they started hiring another cat for tying there. This is the tamasika knowledge.